Peace and greetings. It's your girl Nai here for day 24 of the 31 days of tarot, and this is which card do I think is most misunderstood and why. There are two cards particularly, I'm gonna say besides court cards, because people struggle with the court cards. Major arcana wise. Now I'm trying to find it and I'm not gonna be able to find it. Okay, we found them. So the tarot card that I feel most misunderstood is the Hierophant. A lot of people don't like decks that display the traditional Hierophant card that looks like the Pope. And this card is not, even though the image may trigger religious overtones, that's not really what the card is about. I find that the card is more about teaching and learning and maintaining traditions. It is definitely like this teacher card. The corresponding zodiac sign to this card is Taurus, and Taurus rules the throat astrologically. So it's about speaking, teaching, or receiving oracular information, or oratory information. It's kind of like a lot of the ATR religions are taught, have always been taught by vocal, like just by talking. So a lot of the traditional things have been lost throughout the generations, because not necessarily that they weren't written down, but it was just tradition to teach it that way, so that's, that can allude to the Hierophant card. Another thing about the Hierophant card too, it is, I think the reason why they show the Pope and the religious overtone again is because there is a factor of spirit that talks about this. The card could be relevant to mediumship because it is about receiving the messages from spirit into the physical and transferring that information. So a good card, a good tarot rendition of that, I think, is in the Hirahita tarot. It took me a minute to catch it, but I was like, oh yeah, the channeling of the higher wisdom or the higher spiritual necessity to come down and through somebody as a channel is very much implemented here in the Hierophant card. And so I think that gets lost just because of, in many cases a lot of readers are not necessarily Christian. They're maybe more pagan oriented, and so the Catholic or Christian, image of the Pope doesn't resonate for them. But if you kind of strip back, the fact that it's Christian imagery or what have you, the purpose of what the Pope is supposed to be doing, or a mentor or spiritual mentor or a guru or whatever the case is, it still has that same underlying thing. It's about taking that information and pinning it to earth and nailing it down into earth. So the Hierophant is definitely one that I find a lot of people have trouble with. So yeah, that is my number one card that I see a lot that people have trouble with, and understanding what it means. So in divination, if you're talking about a very spiritual subject matter, I would go that deep into it the way that I kind of explained it. But if we're doing like a regular quick kind of tarot reading, it's kind of about traditions and maintaining traditions or teaching and learning within a particular structure, a system or structure or something of that sort. So okay, so that's my answer. Thank you for watching. I will talk to you on the next one. Bye.